Let's get into this with our panelists today. Pandit Satish K. Sharma, Chair of the British Board of Dharmic Scholars, Pattai Suresh Krishnamurthy, Board Member of Kohana, Adit Kothari, activist and one of the protesters, one of the people who organized the protests against this biased reportage and perhaps a narrative stitching that was happening in the United Kingdom, with us. And Ratan Shardaji, RSS researcher and author, also with us. Namaste, Jai Hind, and let's say Jai Shri Ram. What others consider as Hindu nationalist violent chants is something which is eternal to our ethos as Indians, as citizens of this Bharat Bhumi, because we address everybody as Ram Ram and Jai Shri Ram. It's the greeting that says that we will belong to and we will follow the principles of Ram, who is also known as Maryada Purushottam. So that's what this chant actually means to people like Dr. Chris Allen. But Pandit Satish Sharma ji, let me say namaste and welcome to Mahabharati. I believe you are in Bharat.
I am blessed, I truly am. Dev Bhumi has welcomed me, it's been long overdue, and your welcome has made it even warmer than it was when I arrived. Thank you so much, it's a pleasure to be here. And Jai Shri Ram to you and to all of your viewers.
So let me ask you, Pandit Satish Sharma ji, who is this Dr. Chris Allen? What is it that he was trying to champion? And how did this entire effort to try and stand up to this agenda of Hindu hate, Hindu phobia, Hindu missia? I'd like to call it Hindu missia or Hindu hate, not Hindu phobia. They are not afraid of Hindus. They hate. It stems from hate or missia. But so let me ask you this, and please lay the context, and we'll take it across with our other panelists.
Jay. So Chris Allen is a newcomer onto the stage, into the drama that has been executed in Leicester for the last few months. Chris Allen is a long-standing criminologist. He's an academic. He's a very senior member of the Leicester University faculty. And that is the first, shall we say, the first casualty in this whole debacle. We can also refer to this now as the existence of a cabal. So if we try and understand what's happened, there is a view that has been put forward, and it has two planks. One is that Hindus were guilty, and it's because of some fanaticism that magically appeared in 2014. And two, that the other party, the Islamists, those feral youngsters who were attacking elderly Hindus in their mandirs, that they are not to blame. So these are the two planks of the narrative that is now being established, or they wanted to establish it. Fortunately, scrutiny revealed that both blanks are absolutely false, that they're a fabrication, that they are a propaganda exercise. And so when one turns to people of Dr. Chris Allen's ilk, it's quite remarkable. He published long before he was invited to lead this particular committee. He'd already published, he was on record as having announced what his judgment on the circumstances of Leicester was. You would expect members in public authorities to be able to go to Google and just do a quick check on the credentials and the orientation of the person to whom they were going to entrust probably one of the most critical community cohesion sensitive issues that has arisen in the United Kingdom. The fact that nobody did it, the fact that they leapt to him straight away despite all of his relationships, combined with the fact that even Sir Peter Soulsby, the Lord Mayor of Leicester, announced his position and compromised the independence of the report, it all leads to one thing, and that thing is the presence of a cabal who have been enshrining institutionalized anti-Hinduism, anti-Misia in Leicester. And further scrutiny has now really begun to reveal the extent of this cabal. It has its tentacles in academia, it obviously has its tentacles in the local Labour Party, and you and I have spoken in the past about the Labour Party's issues to do with hate and contempt for Hindus. All of this is now, shall we say, the harsh glare of public scrutiny is now being directed at this. And we are seeing not only the collapse of the narrative, but we are also seeing the collapse of the credibility of many of the members of the institutions of Leicester, academics, but also politicians.
But Adit, one of the things, Aditji, is that Hindu groups have also started organizing themselves and they have started raising their voice. One of the aspects was that You were ready to even take on an institution like the BBC. There were organized protests and lobbies which were made, and representations were made to fact check and perhaps correct certain perceptions. Now, how did this come about? Because this is a phenomenon which is recent, because largely many people have said that we are all fighting when we talk about Hindu groups and those who are trying to protest. There is no cohesion. Each group tends to fight, make noise on its own, and it's all splintered. But this was organized, and this seemed to have a thought process coming through. What brought this about? And would you believe that the pressure that you exerted and various groups coming together exerted has resulted in certain people backing off?
Sure. I'd like to start with saying Jai Shri Ram, because apparently that seems to be like one of the crux of the issues that we've been fighting against, and precisely what the BBC has done as well. They've institutionalized this hate, like Panditji was saying before me. They've called Holi a filthy festival in one of their articles, which they had to detract later on. But it's surprising that, articles like that even went through the editorial checks and balances to make it into the print media to begin with. The protest that you spoke about, it took a lot of effort for us to galvanize that collective Indian and Hindu conscience. Getting people from various walks of life, various organizations to come and agree that, yes, this is a systematic problem within the British society, within the British media, where they are peddling a continuous anti-Hindu hate and rabid editorials against anti-India. Just to take you back, the issue is not something new. This was happening for generations. BBC was in fact halted from producing editorials in India in 1965. In 71, in the late 80s and 90s, Mark Tully was essentially held up for having his views against the Kashmir terrorism, and he essentially said that he didn't buy the logic that Pakistan was remotely involved in any terrorist activities in India. And this is Mark Tully, who's a celebrated journalist from the BBC. So it's not something new, but from 2014, there's been a tectonic shift. The anti-India biases has changed to anti-Hindu bias. For some reason, they believe that the Narendra Modi and the BJP government that's come into power defies the colonial collegiate mindset that used to exist in India for so long. And that has sort of rattled a lot of feathers within institutions like the BBC and the Guardian. The protest was very dignified. It was extremely visual. People were very articulate with what the issues with the BBC was, and they were able to get their points across in a memorandum with complete list of references to all of the anti-Indian, anti-Hindu biases that the BBC have peddled for generations now. So hopefully the BBC will see the light, and they will stop, at least if nothing, they can stop the journalists who have this anti-India biases within their hearts to stop peddling that narrative. So we will hope for that. But at least what this protest has done, it's galvanized more information about the BBC and the Guardian. It's spread awareness within the community in India and Britain that there is this concerted effort, overt and sometimes covert, to peddle this anti-India and anti-Hindu narrative.
Now, this anti-India and anti-Hindu narrative, Patte Suresh Krishnamurthy, is present even in the US. So, if Sadhvi Ritumbra was not allowed to land in the UK, she was not allowed to even address a gathering which was planned, permitted for in Atlanta.